Hello, and welcome back to another episode with Ref King. Yes, today we're going over some massage education. I'd like to talk about a very humble but effective tool today. It's a tool that saved my career, and it wasn't up until the point that I needed it that I saw how effective it was. For the longest time, the T-bar was kind of a joke to me, right? It was one of those things where, like, your knuckles can't handle it, your fingers can't handle it. That's why you got an elbow type of thing. But it's just not true. I really was not giving it the time of day that it needed. And for a lot of us, I think, going through massage school, we just brushed right past this, right? Nobody told me that this could be like the ultimate joint saver when it comes to massage. For some massage therapists out there, they do more of a light to medium type of pressure with the body, with fantastic body mechanics, and you might not ever have to worry about this pressure on your fingers, on your joints, all that. But for me, it was late last year that I was working with a client. I had maybe a little too much ambition to want to hit a certain goal with this person, and as we've talked about in the past, if they're leaving better, that's better than you searching for perfect, right? Searching for perfection in a session can be, it can be unproductive sometimes, actually, as productive as it can sound, right? There are definitely times where you might overdo it, you might totally miss the mark. So better is better than perfect. But for me, I was a little stubborn with all this, and I really wanted to push through it. And I noticed my right shoulder felt funny. Worked on this client a couple weeks later. Left shoulder started feeling kind of funny. And it was after that session that I couldn't lift either of my arms above my head. I was in some serious trouble. And ever since then, I have not been able to do a proper elbow stroke, proper elbow technique, whether it's static or gliding. Just that position with my shoulder does not work anymore. I think it'll come back. I've been doing a lot of exercises. I've been doing a lot of shield and gamma cast type of workouts. Halos with the dumbbell are fantastic for rebuilding the shoulders, and I've been up on all of that. So I can absolutely, raise my arm above my head now, and thankfully I can still do massage. But I want to tell you more about why I can still do that. And it's all because of the T-bar, right? I would say T-bar and vibration device, but we'll get into the vibration device in another video. But specifically the metal T-bar. So this right here, right? I like this over the wood T-bar that you can get like a wood T-bar for like $8, right? They're not expensive at all. Those are fantastic for chair massage. I love wooden T-bars with a clothed client, whether they're in the chair or on the table. And I have to say, I love all the different sizes as well. Like, there's one that you could hold right in your hand. There's one that's much bigger that I feel like I have to hold with two hands. But I absolutely love working with both of those. Now, I don't think those work as well when you're coming to a disrobed client, when we're going to have to involve some gliding, when there's going to be gel, lotion, or oil on the body. For me, the metal is going to be far superior for two reasons. The texture of it, right? Like, this is machine made, so it's going to be smooth. Even if the wood is machine made, you gotta make sure you sand it. If you put some kind of glaze over it, you gotta make sure that's smooth as well. So it's not perfect, but it does well with clothing. Metal, more appropriate for the disrobed client. Not to mention, the metal T-bar over there, it comes in two pieces. You can easily take those two pieces apart. Nothing beyond that, though, are you going to get any kind of like gel, oil, pathogens that jammed into the fibers of that T-bar. Now, with some of the wood stuff, I've definitely seen like some cracks that something could get into. You just don't want that sitting there over time. You don't want that building up. You definitely don't want that cross-contamination from client to client. So the metal T-bar is going to be more sanitary, and it's going to feel better on the body. Not only that, but this one's made slightly different. A lot of the T-bars you find are going to be kind of that lowercase t where there's another nub up top right here. I don't really see a problem with that. However, what a lot of them don't have is this slant to the side right here. It's like a, I don't know, 45, 30-degree slant. Now this is essential for me when I'm working, because a lot of the times we think intuitively to pick up the T-bar, hold it like this, right? And you press down on this back end while pressure is being directly applied to the tip right here. Now, I think that is a fantastic way to approach the T-bar in general. However, I use mine slightly differently. So I really like to hold and place my palm on this flat edge right here. Place my palm right here where this angled edge is going to be at. And as you can see, I'm going to be working with two hands, a little bit at an angle, but that's fine because the tool can take it, right? My joints don't like to work at angles necessarily, but this absolutely can. And I'm confident this T-bar is going to outlive me, but let's say I were to break it somehow. The thing was like 30 bucks, man. Like, it'll be okay. Honestly, it will be. But I like to use it like this for the most part. Here and here. Now, even in this demonstration, this isn't as accurate as I would like it to be because I have to actually hold on to the tool. For the most part, I try to have my hands as relaxed as possible, and I'm either pulling or pressing with my hands, and maybe even kind of doing like this alternate between the two, kind of like a balance. That for me allows me to have very specific work in my sessions, which I'm known for. I kind of have a reputation for that. Someone who uses a lot of like palm strokes for the Swedish massage, this might not be for you, although I do use it with my relaxing sessions, absolutely. But another thing about that is I have a lot of power when my elbow is close to my body, right? When I have a lot of, that provides a lot of stability for my shoulder. The further out it gets, the less stability I have, right? So with your common elbow stroke, yeah, you kind of have to have the arm out and you stack the shoulder above it. It's a little further from the body. You shouldn't be doing anything out here necessarily, right? It should be closer. But even that small deviation can be a lot for me. With this, compacting myself in and then focusing all my pressure at the tip of that T-bar, oh wow, I can get an amazing amount of pressure, an incredible amount. And not just that, because it has this right angle to it, right here, and it has this other angle to it, I can get to places, I can get angles that I wasn't able to get before. Take, for example, when someone's laying supine on the table, face up on the table, getting into the neck, certain areas, can be tough, right? We naturally can do it with our hands because we can scoop under and press to the side, and we can pull down from the head of the table. You are not going to be able to get as much power as I can get with this T-bar. Now, the neck is not a place where you express incredible deep tissue. However, I have noticed incredible results with this T-bar on the neck, right? I know my anatomy very well. I know the difference between what bone feels like and what really, really hardened muscle and tendon feels like. And it's that we're trying to break through. That needs a little bit of that breaking type of encouragement where we're going to like give it a little extra pressure. It's going to be a little intense, but afterwards, oh, you're going to feel like 5 inches taller. Now, another question that comes up with the T-bar is, how do you accurately feel what you're doing, right? Like, especially when it comes to the neck, there's so many sensitive structures that go through the neck, right? You got these arteries, you got nerves, and arteries in particular, you can feel for, right? You can, if you're pressing down on the neck and you can feel a pulse, you need to move, right? You're inhibiting some type of blood flow when you do that. How can you feel that with the T-bar? You'd actually be surprised how much you can feel with a T-bar, even this hunk of metal that I have in my hand right now, right? I mean, this weighs, what, a pound, maybe 2 pounds? Maybe not 2 pounds, probably closer to a pound. Let's call it 1.3. Something like that. Yeah, you feel like you're not going to be able to get any feedback, right? I beg to differ. I feel like I can feel maybe not just as much as I did before, but still an incredible amount. And what I will also do is, as I'm using the tool, you can kind of put a finger or two next to this nub. And that's obviously not your working pressure, but if I can get a finger down next to it, I'm going to feel if there's a pulse in the area very, very accurately. I like to tell this story about One time I was sitting in the back of a vehicle and the driver had run over a traffic cone. He got stuck in the vehicle, right, like in the wheel well. You could feel it from the back. You could absolutely feel that something was wrong with the front left of the vehicle, like something was dragging, right? Something wasn't working properly. There's some kind of friction or something like that. And so I like to think that if you can feel a difference in vibration through thousands of pounds of steel, plastic, and rubber, then you might be able to feel some of these more subtle changes in the body with a T-bar in your hand. In fact, I'm confident that you can, particularly if you just give it a little bit of practice. I think for a lot of us, we expect to pick up the T-bar and be just as good as we are with our hands. And it took me a session or two, but how many of us really dedicate that with new techniques? I mean, there's so many massage therapists I've met who kind of have this mentality of I can see it and then I can do it perfectly. I've definitely said that about myself before too. So I can see how it's a kind of a common train of thought to have. But personally, I think if you just take a couple of sessions, work with the T-bar, especially in areas where you can find that you aren't giving deep enough pressure, it'll change your life. It absolutely will. In fact, I was a little apprehensive to even share this info just because like I feel like it set me apart, right? Like I feel like I found a niche in the community that I hadn't touched on before. And it was one of those things where like I didn't want to tell people because I didn't want them to be so much better than me at massage. But that's not why I make these videos. Why I make these videos is so clients can understand why we do what we do, and so you as a massage therapist can also benefit, right? Like we're all in this together. And the better that we share this info with each other, the better that we all improve, life's gonna be better for all of us. So thank you so much for hanging out for this video. I'll hang out for the next video where I described my other secret weapon when it comes to massage. So I'll go ahead and see y'all then. Y'all take care. Have a great day.